another thing, sometimes you will have a mortgage professional such as yourself now or in the past when you were doing up, home loans, offer a borrower, hey, if you want, we can do a point and that will buy down the rate, right? I've always thought of those points as prepaid interest. I don't know if that's, how the industry looks at them, but that's how I've always looked at them.
Well, I mean, I think if you analyze it, it's kind of that in a sense. You're just buying down the rate now, so you're paying the interest up front in a sense.
And you can always do a break-even analysis. That's what I think most people do or should
correct,
do,
the
right?
recouping period. I always kind of calculate the differences as far as like your option of here's your par rate. If you want to pay any
hold on.
to buy
What's
down.
par?
Sure.
Well, hold on. What's par?
Okay, definition of par meaning you're not paying anything for that rate.
Right.
And so that's basically where par means. So there's no additional cost to it. Correct, the base rate. So, but you, in some cases, do have an option to buy down that base rate to the floor rate, right? So, and then we could go over the actual cost to reduce that rate and what the conversion rate is. So that's where you apply the points on something other than the origination. It's a point to buy down the rate. So that's where you would allocate that 1 point or 1 percentage point as far as costs.
Now, the math is relatively easy. Unfortunately, not a lot of people do the math. So this is how I look at it, right? So again, we'll use $300,000 loan as an example.
Sure.
So $300,000 loan, I'm offered an option for 1 point. So that's $3,000.
Okay.
Let's assume that the lower rate saves you $100 a month.
Right.
Okay. So I would look at that going, how quickly do I get my money back? And the answer is very simple, 30 months. Right. Or 2.5 years.
2.5 years. Correct.
Right. So for me, that's kind of my break even. If there is ever a time that I could pay points and I get my money back in 2.5 years or less, I pay the points. If you're doing this and it's a 6 or 7 year payback, I ain't doing that. Everybody do your own math, but I just want to share the math. What is the cost? What is the lower mortgage rate, the actual delta? Divide those two things and figure out when your payback period is. Do you think that makes sense?
That makes 100% sense because that's usually how I do up my responses for people looking for just hard numbers, right? A quote, things of that nature. So I'll usually, tell them exactly what their payment is, what their option to buy down the rate, what that rate would be, and that payment would be at that, a reduced buy down rate, and then take a look at the difference in monthly payment. And then divide that into the actual cost for that buy down. And then the recouping period is always in the number of years. So I'm right up to the
awesome.
Same thought process. So yes, sir.
Awesome.